Shalom, shalom, family. What's going on? As I'm riding through this traffic, just wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind real quick. So, in terms of the mandates in the state of New York and California, I believe, for people to be vaccinated, especially in the health field and in the education field, like people are literally out here losing their jobs because they don't want to be vaccinated. Now, I want to prefix this by saying that I'm not for or against. I believe that this vaccination thing is your own decision that you got to make. You know, I'm not into telling people what to do in terms of the vaccination, or I've never been one of those type of brothers that's been, into telling people not to get immunized. That's never been my plight. That's never been my fight. I know people on both ends. I know people that have grown up, never been vaccinated. I have people that I know that grew up, never been vaccinated or, immunized, and they're fine. They never had any disease, never anything, never, they never gotten sick off of any of these diseases that you get from immunizations per se. But, and, on the other side, I know people that's been immunized and they're fine. So for me, one way or another, it doesn't make a difference. I know that when I was young, I was immunized, and that's where I stand on it. So immunization, vaccination, it doesn't really matter to me. What I'm opposed to is trying to make people put something into their bodies that they're not comfortable with putting into their bodies. I believe that there is that in itself that's wrong, because now you're telling people in order to be employed, you have to put this into your body that you're not so sure about, that you're not so a vaccine that you don't have that much faith in. Now, if you look at last year right around this time, or a little bit before, they didn't have any vaccines. What were people in the health field doing? What were people in the education field doing? They had to go to work without being vaccinated. Without having any vaccine available, they had to go to work and risk their lives and expose themselves to people as they were unvaccinated. And there was touted as heroes. Last year, right around this time, people were going out there every day at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the afternoon, and they were just clapping and making noise and touting them as heroes, and now they become villains. I mean, these are people that helped to save many lives, that saved although a lot of people died from the COVID, these are people that helped to save many lives. And I don't understand to my life how now you vilify these people because they don't want to take a vaccine. Now, like I said, I'm not against the vaccine. I know family members. I have family members that have taken the vaccine. I know people that have taken the vaccine. And I know people that have not taken the vaccine. That's irrelevant. You could do and put into your body whatever you want to put into your body. That's between you and your loved one and God, for all I care. That's your decision. But what I don't agree with is that you force people to do it, and then you use their job as the caveat that if you don't do it, you're going to lose your job. And many people have lost their jobs. Many people are on suspension from their jobs because they refuse to take something or put something into their body that they don't know the science of, or they're not that sure about. And let me tell you something. There are a lot of people out there like myself. I've never taken a flu shot. There are people out there that never taken boosters, never taken flu shots, never taken, all these shots that they have available, and they're perfectly fine. And it doesn't mean that those people are against people who take vaccinations or immunization, right? There are far more people that don't take the flu vaccine than there are people who take it yearly. There are people who just don't get into the habit of putting things into their bodies. Now, is the COVID-19 vaccine helping people? I'm sure it's helping some people, but there are some people who say that after they got the COVID that they got sick when they never had the COVID before, right? So what the scientists are saying is basically that it doesn't guarantee you not contracting the COVID. So some people are rationalizing in their minds that, well, if it's not going to stop me from contracting COVID, then why should I take something that's not going to stop the COVID from entering my body, the coronavirus? So you got to see how people are thinking. So some may say, yeah, but it helped to save your life. I get it, but some people would rather take that chance. That's their choice. That is their choice. And I don't think that you should lose your job or your position because you made a choice like that. And you're not imposing your way of thinking on someone else. And that's the other thing. The people who are extreme on either ends, right? Those are the people that sometimes do damage, because you're too extreme on one end and you're too extreme on the other end, and there is no understanding. You simply have people that do not want to take it. And you also have people that have already contracted coronavirus a couple of times. It didn't kill them, and they feel like they have the immunity for the coronavirus. I know they say that there are different strands and different strands affect you differently, but there are some people who have survived it. I know people that have survived it 2 and 3 times without taking a vaccine. So those people are saying to themselves, my body already has gone through that. I'm perfectly fine when not taking a vaccine because I've built immunity. That's what they feel. And why should I take a vaccine if I've already gotten the virus and my body has built the immunity for it? So these are the things that sometimes the pro-vaccination people don't listen to, right? And like I said, I'm not anti-vaccination. If people have told me I'm going to go take the vaccine, I say you have to do what you have to do. I can't tell you whether I can't speak against it because it's your life. I can't speak against it because it's you that has to make that decision. And I've had people on the other end that said, man, I don't need to take the vaccine because I already had it. I already had the coronavirus 2 times. So why should I take it? My body has already built immunity, and I understand that. So I think the issue here is that the government is becoming too involved in the decisions that people make of what goes into their bodies. And this is just, if we look at it as a whole, first of all, people freedoms of religion. Some people that are using the religious exemption letters are being turned away, right? Because they don't want to put anything unnatural or synthetic into their bodies, anything that's unnatural or not natural, and they're being turned away. You're opening up a can of worms with these things, because now if you could turn people away for those exemptions, then that means that little by little you could begin to start rolling back certain things, and boom, here you have it. You have a dictatorship, or you have any other type of government that's quote unquote not a democratic and not a free government, because now you're violating people's constitutional rights. That's the way they have it written in the Constitution. So all I'm saying is that you're treading upon dangerous grounds when you begin to do that. You begin to violate people's rights per se. So my whole thing is, don't vilify people that do not want to take the vaccine. Maybe you need to listen to them, right? Because not everyone is fanatical and going off the ledge, you know, a conspiracy theorist. Not everybody is that. But people do have points out there that you need to listen to. It's like I heard Kyrie Irving, the basketball player. His point is that basically he still wants more proof. It's not that he doesn't want to be with his teammates, or that he doesn't want to play basketball, or that he wants to retire. He said he loves the game. His game he's been playing since he was 4 years old. But he's made a decision for him and for his family that he is not going to take the vaccine until he is sure of what he's putting into his body. And I can't knock that. And I can't knock anybody who feels the way that they do. So just like I cannot knock the people who went and took the vaccine. I think sometimes, like I said from the beginning, we get too extreme. Last year, these people were heroes. We touted them around town. We paraded them around town. I mean, and we spoke about how great they were. And now these people are villains and they're losing their jobs. Medical workers. You got people working in the health field, people working in education, police officers, people that last year, you know, was touted as heroes, and now they're losing their jobs. Are you kidding me? And I mean, they're willing to wear masks. They're willing to be tested twice, 3 times a week to see if they're infected. Why don't you just do that? That's what you were doing last year when there was no quote unquote vaccine. So now what's wrong if they don't want to put this thing into, like I said, there are some people that have never put any of those things in their bodies, and now you're telling them that they need to put this into their bodies. And like I said, and I need to keep making this point, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, because I'm going to use a scenario. If you speak to someone that comes from the continent of Africa, right? Especially in those rural places where there are certain type of diseases that would just kill you or will kill a baby, right? I believe in Africa, like in the continent of Africa, the #1 killer is like diseases that kill babies. If I'm not mistaken, but one of the top, I believe, like top 10 diseases that kill people is malaria. Now, I was in contact with a brother from Africa. He came over to America to try to gather the people over here to help them to combat malaria, and he said that is one of the top killers. And he said malaria is fought by, you know, people buying nets and putting it over their beds, or it's a shot that costs $20 US to basically stop this, you know, the disease from killing you. But people are so poor in the continent, they can't even afford the shot. So people are dying from malaria when it's only a $20 shot. So the reason why I bring that up is if you bring somebody from the continent of Africa and they know about all these diseases that kill you, and they get vaccinated, right? Their thought pattern is like, I'm going to take advantage of anything that I could take of that will keep me protected, because they're seeing death from simple things that have been eradicated from here in this Western Hemisphere in the US, right? And that's why I said the people that are extreme on the no vaccination, yeah, you could say that. You could say that, but you don't come from places where polio is still a real thing, where polio twists you up, right? You know why you could say that? Because it has been eradicated from here. So that's why I'm saying you have to be careful of how you come at people who do get vaccinated, because people's realities are all different. This Western society, a lot of things have been eradicated, so it affords you the freedom not to be vaccinated, and you could talk proud and tall. So just to show you, there's two ends to it. But the thing is that you shouldn't force people. This is the main point. You shouldn't force people to get something that they're not sure about, and that they feel like they already went through the coronavirus. Why should I put this into my body? It's just food for thought. Like I said, I'm not pro, I'm not con. It's whatever you choose to do. It's your body. It's what you want to do. I know a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, you should be against this. Listen, brothers and sisters, that's your decision. I can't tell another person what to do. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So, like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little notification bell on the right hand side, right above the description, I believe. And listen, let's talk about it. Leave your comments below. Let me know how you feel. You might be for, you might be against. Leave your comments below. Make your arguments. All right? Peace. Shalom, shalom.